Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where I bought a twisted bow, and then I bought Baldur's Gate. So I got a 1.3 bill dusty placeholder for the last 4 days. Hi, I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. If this is your first time listening to Xpwaste, thank you so much for tuning in. We are a Runescape podcast that could go old school or RS3 sometimes, maybe less, more so old school.
I was going to say, what?
Just a little bit of RuneScape 3. Sometimes.
Like once in a
blue moon.
RS3 like once every other episode. Don't do that.
Once in a blue moon in, we do talk about RS3. But neither of us play, so like good luck with following along. If you're not new around here, I also have Baldur's Gate 3, and I started it today. And we're not a Baldur's Gate 3 podcast, so I'm not going to get too much into it. But it is a very good game. It kind of plays like RuneScape, and it's D&D. So two of my favorite things in the whole world. So thank you, Oxie, for buying it for me. I appreciate that. I was really on the fence about getting it, and like I was going to pull the trigger at payday. It's like, he bought it for me. I love this man. Thank you so much.
I just knew you weren't going to buy it. Like I started playing the game, and I had two absolute truths I knew in the moment. I'm like, Michael needs this game. Michael is not going to buy this game because Michael hates spending money.
I do.
So there's no way Michael's ever going to buy this game. So I was like, I don't hate spending money and got paid. So I'll hook a brother up.
You're an absolute king. And
I know. I'm pretty great.
It's so much fun. Just like the 30 minutes that I actually played the story. I didn't take like as
playing for 30 minutes?
Huh? Yeah. So like I got on at probably, like I started the game at probably like 12:30. And then by like 1 or 2, I was still making my character. I was like...
It took you an hour and a half to make a character?
Yeah, I was just trying to go through all the options and like really tweaking it. And then I had to make my companion character. That didn't take nearly as long. That took me like
40 seconds.
Yeah, it didn't take nearly as long. But I just wish I really wish they had more tattoo options. Like, I want a full sleeve. And I don't know if you can like find a tattoo artist in the actual game, like outside of the character creation. If there's like a tattoo parlor you can go to and get tatted up. But I've seen like gameplay screenshots of characters in cutscenes with tattoos. And maybe they're NPCs, who knows? But I want more tattoos. And I'm just going to have to figure out if I can do that. But it's a very fun game. Yeah, so it took me a while to create my character. And then getting into the game, I was just running around like examining everything. Just took me a very long time to progress outside of the first major part. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but I landed on somewhere outside of something. If you played Baldur's Gate, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're a RuneScape podcast, and I'm mining at Motherlode Mine, which is amazing because I can actually I can do Motherlode Mine and play Baldur's Gate 3. Life is good. Life is good. Why are you giving me that look for? What does that mean?
You have arguably the most enjoyable video game either one of us have played in the last 2 years. And you're like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? Keep sitting at Motherlode Mine while I play this fun game.
Yeah. I love both
Jordan.
of them.
Stop it. Get some help.
Your hate for mining is just, it's palpable.
It's terrible. It's a terrible skill.
Palpable.
It needs something.
I'm actually enjoying it. Like,
I'm glad.
Didn't really enjoy it that much on my main account because it felt like an obligation. Whereas this feels like a progression towards a goal. And I love goals. I love watching little numbers go up. And so every ore that I mine is inching me closer to the ultimate ore, which is amethyst, which we'll desperately need at some point on our accounts. But this is probably the most AFK thing that I think is going to progress the account. I could fish, obviously. I could catch a lot of Karambwans, but like that really is just to serve the purpose of getting 99 cooking. Yes, food is great, but like I already have thousands of Kromblons, and I don't really see myself going through them all that quickly. I could do Hunter. Yes, Hunter is amazing, but at some point, like after you do farm runs, herb runs, farm runs, herb runs, PVM, herbs, you get herbs. Anyway, yeah, mining. Somebody asked, isn't progression towards the goal just an obligation? I don't know. I haven't thought about that too deeply. I just like mining, and right now it's something that I can do on my iPad while I'm working, while I'm playing Baldur's Gate. All fun things. 88 mining, by the way. 88, and I'm 200k till 89. And then, so I was gone last week. I'm back. Hello. Spari was amazing, by the way. Thank you, Spari, for taking my spot for the week. You did amazing. And while I was gone, I was killing Calvarion. Calvarion? Is
Calvarion.
Calvarion. It's just, yeah. I was killing Calvarion, and I'm at like 34 KC. So I think I've talked about the deep pick conundrum that I'm in and wanting to go through Volcanic Mine, but I think it's going to come from a Wildy boss. I really do. Not that I'm against Volcanic Mine, but just doing the math and like the drop rate is just terrible from there. Ore packs are way too expensive, and it comes broken. So then I have a broken dragon pickaxe that I just spent hours and hours and hours, grinding for. It comes broken, and then I have to go and somehow make 2 point something mil. Like I think it's like 2.2 mil or something. So if I can just do it from Wildy Boss, then let's do it. And Deadman Mode is right now. That just makes the grind all that much easier, because not to say that like every single PKer in the game is in Deadman Mode, but like the wilderness is significantly more dead during PK events, like PvP events, sorry. So it is the perfect time if you haven't done your Wildy Altar Bones, or you wanted to go get a dragon pickaxe. Now's the time to be in the wilderness, folks, because it's pretty dead from what I've heard. So yeah, 34 KC. I've only been killed once. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Like, it's dropping me supplies, which is great. Like, you get the occasional dark crabs or blighted Kromblons, but like the super restore drops, they almost replace like prayer potions for me entirely, because I use like maybe one prayer potion. Like I use one potion for like 3 or 4 kills. It's pretty great. It's pretty good. Have you killed Calvarion a lot?
Calvarion is, let me see. Just want to double check. Cool. Calvarion is the only boss I am not ranked in the high scores on my main account. I just never saw an interest, because when they first came out, everyone was doing Calvarion, because Vedion, especially compared to old Vedion, I think Vedion is the easiest of the new reworks to do.
Yes.
So everyone was doing Calvarion. Everyone was going to kill that Calvarion. And now, Calvarion is just easy to... I would imagine it's easy enough where I don't find it fun. Like I was talking with my bingo team a couple weeks ago, and you can... Like, if everything lines up perfectly, you have to bring way more risk than you should. You can, like, 2-shot Calvarion. Like completely kill it before the dogs come out. Like, you just hit it hard enough that you just wipe it out or whatever. I don't know if that's in the first phase or the second phase or what, but I've just not been motivated to go and kill Calvarion. I probably should, just to say I can get the 20 KC to, like, peek in the cave in case I ever need to.
Yeah.
But, like, I have not really had an interest in killing Calvarion. But literally, it's funny. It's literally the only boss that is not ranked. Inferno, Fazani's, Hard Mode Tob, all the 4 Desert Treasure bosses, they're all on there. Calvarion is the only blank slot.
Honestly, though, yeah, I mean, it's easy. I don't know. I don't know if you can kill the boss without the dog spawning, because it's like an auto thing that happens at a certain health. So at some point, he has like, I think, 250 HP in each phase.
Total. Oh, I was gonna say, I think
In each
I
phase?
don't know what the I don't know what the tack was to do
Yeah.
it, but I think there's a way you can kill it without spawning the dogs. I'm not
Huh.
100% sure. Again, I've literally never killed the boss, so I have no idea.
Hey, well, if you need the points for the Master Diary, I mean, it's free 7 points to kill him 20 times. It's a hard task and an elite task. 10 times and 20 times.
That also applies to Fedion, who I have killed.
Oh, does it?
144 times.
Is it the same? Oh, it is. Okay. Never mind.
Because I have the elite and the hards. They're like green log, like done completely.
Gotcha. Yeah, never mind then. That's interesting. I didn't realize they should have done. Well, I guess they shouldn't have done, but it's kind of silly that the combat achievements for the big bosses count on the little ones because they're vastly different fights.
Don't you mean it's the opposite way around? It's ridiculous that the little ones count for the big ones?
Yeah, that's what. Is that not what I said?
No, you said it's ridiculous that the big ones count for the little ones.
The big tasks count on the little ones. I think that's what I meant. Yeah, anyway, we're in agreement. Anyway, I think we skipped over our week. How are you? I mean, you said something about a Tebow placeholder. Did you end up selling it? Because you said also that you made a merch.
I bought it for 1.395 and now it's worth 1.399, I think, or something like that.
So the tax.
But no, I just said that I made $4 million on my Tebow merch, which is a joke. I'm not getting rid of that thing. Hopefully ever. It's been fun. Muspa no longer sucks balls.
Oh, good.
I mean,
and you have the tablet, right? So you can get there pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's real nice with the Duke tablet to get there. It's fun. I kept the scythe for the Tebow rebuild. So I've been getting shit this week when I have been playing RuneScape that it's not really a rebuild because I still, have a scythe in my bank. So like if I really needed stuff, I could sell it, but I genuinely enjoy Tob too much to get rid of it. And people were like, you can Tob with a whip, right? I'm like, yeah, It's like if I had $1 million, we wouldn't have to eat craft dinner, but we would eat craft dinner. We'd just eat more. I can do Tob without a scythe, but I won't. I'll just bring a Tebow with my scythe now, just in case.
So,
which like is nice in like, it's nice at Maiden, mainly because sometimes we zoom through 70s, 50s, and 30s, and it's nice to like not have to do a 7-way switch to catch the freezes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to just like sit there with like do the quick 4-way void Tebow switch, just Tebow Maiden until it's time. Pre-hits are cool, and then I don't really mess up Zarpus that much anymore. I'll occasionally rag a tile every now and again, but I don't have to. I can dance at Zarpus. I can do the 5.3 tick. It's not an issue. But if I really do mess that up, I can go to the outside and be more useful. And then when I mess up webs, because boy, if you've Tob with me, I mess up webs. I'm more useful at Verzik, which it's just small little fun improvements to Tob. But the Twisted Bow has been fun. You know what I am not enjoying? Tebow only Zulrah.
It's interesting
boring.
You say that because that's my favorite Zulrah.
So boring. Tebow only Zulrah is boring, and the bow, like the amount of times I'm killing the snake, and it's like I spent 1.3 bill on the 0 generator. What the hell is this?
It's a noodle bow.
Like, yeah, I think I did 1,300 kills with switches.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, not doing anything, like, and all the extra supplies I'm taking, it doesn't even change that much. Like, I'm still only getting like 6 kill trips.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the passive healing from the Sang staff anymore. So like my trips have kind of leveled out, and like I'm a vengeance man. I'm old school. A lot of people like thralls now for the extra DPS, and I gotta admit, thralls aren't too bad at Zulrah. But I myself am a boomer, and I'm a venge guy at Zulrah. I love me a good venge, you know. Because like 50-50, you venge that 41 from Zulrah's blue phase. Ooh, beautiful, right? But I don't know. I'm just not enjoying. I'm not enjoying Tebow only Zulrah as much as I thought I would. I'm gonna keep doing it because I do want a mutagen. Because at this point, I'm so far away from Torva, that it's not even remotely close to my radar. Like I don't even have a spec weapon. Every raid I've had to go on, people have like loaned me Dragon Warhammers and BGSs and shit. Like I don't have a spec weapon, so I think a BGS is my first big purchase back.
Yeah.
And I had to sell a lot. Like it's my 2200 total Grandmaster plan, base 90s plan has been halted pretty substantially. Not that it's not going to happen, because I mean it's still like August 27th, probably like what, September 1st when this episode comes out or whatever it is. Yeah. So like I still have time to get it. I'm confident I can. I might have to get it through other routes. I just know like 4 construction levels is like 10 mil. So it's not horrible, right? There are so many other things I need to buy before that. Like I can pull up my sheet, what I sold. I got rid of everything. And I do mean like everything. I sold my crystal pickaxe. I sold all my spec weapons. I sold all my mage gear. I sold my web weaver bow. The one I bought way back in my original crossbow, I bought for like 5 mil way back in the day. I finally binned it. I sold all my kits that I got from Leagues 3.
What?
That one kind of hurt. I sold all my kits for my void and my cannon. The kits were like 1.3 mil a pop though.
Oh.
It was like 12 mil just sitting there. I'm like, dude, I can't not. You know, I literally got rid of everything. The ancestral that I saved up for 7 months to get, I sold within like 2 weeks of getting it. I think Desert Treasure 2 came out. I got Ancestral. I had the top and the bottom. And then within, I think, 3 weeks of DT2's release, I immediately sold it and bought a Twisted Bow. So everything is gone. I even sold my Ferocious gloves. That's how down bad I was. But I managed to keep my Scythe, all 4 of my Zenites, and the BCP that Scape gave me.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Still, I really did consider selling it. And I was, I hopped into VC with some old timers, and the only one there, I was like, I don't know what to do about the BCP. And everyone was like, sell it. You don't need to sell it. You got a torso. And Immortal was the only one who was around from that time period, who like remembered. And he's like, dude, it's a principle of thing. You got to keep the BCP. Yeah. I'm like, that's all I needed right there. I just needed one. So we still have the BCP. So I look like an absolute mumpty with like a regular Nezzy helm, the Dragon Boots G, because I did front the ducats for the gilded kit. I never won't do that. The Obsidian legs, the BCP, which looks terrible without tassets, by the way. It's gross. It's just by itself.
Right.
I was rocking Barrow's gloves for a little while, but I did manage to get my Ferocious gloves back.
Okay.
And then a Holy Scythe. Like I look like, make me like put a Myth cape on or like a Legends cape instead of my Infernal cape. I look like the biggest credit card warrior.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah.
Like mage? I haven't killed anything with magic. Because I don't have mage gear. And I don't mean I don't have ancestral. I mean, Arims is too expensive. So I don't own mage gear.
Okay.
Like, I think I did a Chambers and brought like... Do I have Mystics in my bank? I don't remember. I did consider buying some Mystic for a while. Because, like, everything I need... is melee upgrades at the moment because I literally don't have anything good decent for melee. Because again, Tob go burr.
Yeah,
you know.
Let me ask you a question. Are you above taking like gear loans from me? Because like my gear is just sitting in my bank.
So not for like individual pieces of content, right? Like we ran some CMs. I think the first day I got my Tebow. and my boy Nate Dogg gave me his Warhammer because he was just like wood cutting. So he gave me the Warhammer, and then Jesse loaned me some Virtus. And I did the content with that. And then for all the other TOBs, I've taken a BGS from Jesse or Immortal. But I'm not really doing anything that warrants a whole lot of like additional gear, right? Other than Zalra being boring as shit, I really have not had an issue, you know? There are some things that are kind of disappointing. Like, I can't do Leviathan, really, because I guess Tebow Leviathan's not good.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any money for Awakener Orbs, and even if I did, I'd be wasting money, because there's no way I'm getting Blorva. Blorva is so far off the radar that Awakener Orbs are just money in the pocket for now. I'm not...
They're money for you to make, not spend.
Yeah, I'm not fronting the ducats for Awakener Orbs, because again, I can't even afford Torva. I'm not going for the Awaken variants. For a long time, though, I have been talking to some folks, and there's a big suspicion that Blood Torva is going to be a requirement for the Zuck Helm.
Like
there's the how do you guys, like, for all the GMs in the chat? First of all, GM. Second of all, how do you guys justify the Grandmaster Helm without the Awaken variants not being on the combat achievements?
Right. That's true.
Right. Whether the simplest thing they can do is kill the Awaken variants once each time, let alone additional things that you can do with it, like perfect Awakened variants is definitely possible. Not by me, but it's possible by somebody.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think even like...
Is that something that they would consider because it's locked behind a purchased item? Like, besides the one kill, you're talking about like requiring somebody to buy multiple orbs to do multiple... Like, they don't... There's nothing like that now.
Every speedrun for the major raids, the Theater of Blood, the CM, and the Expert Mode TOA, or whatever the TOA speedrun is, are gear locked. There is not... Because you can't do them without a Tebow, a Scythe, and a Shadow, respectively. Like, a lot of speedruns are locked behind it. The Inferno speedrun is locked behind a Tebow. There's a lot of achievements that are already locked behind big ticket items, right? Let alone consistent money spending, because like you're gonna use a lot of supplies. If you're going for what's the GM times sub 60 for the Inferno, I think.
Right, but those are like arbitrary locks. They're not. You need to have an.
I mean, it's about the same money. Like, if you're trying to speed run Inferno, let's see, Nibbler Chaser's a GM task? When did they change that? Oh, that's Nibbler Chaser, not Nibblers Be Gone. I lied. No, I'm trying to look, what's the speedrun time? No look required, wasn't even close. Is there not a speedrun? Oh, Inferno speedrunner.
65 minutes.
Yeah, 65. I just wanted to double check. But yeah, it's sub 65. You're going to go through a lot of supplies trying to get that, right? You're going to go through bastions. You're going to go through you're going to go through arrows. You're going to go through chins. You're going to go through runes. You're going to go through probably not too many brews, because if your stats are lowered, you kill the monster slower. You're going to go through restores or sand fuse, depending on what you're bringing down there money-wise. Like, you're going to spend a lot of money per attempt.
Right.
Like,
but like, you have to think about, okay, this is going to come as a surprise, but Iron Man, like, how many times did it take our GMs, how many orbs does it take our GMs to do all of the kills once? I think Immortal's name right now is like 200 orb guy or something. I haven't asked him. I'm asking you.
I get it. But, as I said, there are gear restrictions for a multitude of other combat tasks. So, just because Iron Men have to spend a while grinding for Blorva, they have to spend a while grinding for a lot of stuff. I've never seen a Tebow as a drop, right?
Right.
That's just part of the game mode. You chose to stand alone, brother.
I'm not gonna die on this hill. It's something that I will probably not have. I don't want to say ever, but for a long time, I will probably not get a Grandmaster helm on any account.
I can see myself going for GMs eventually, but there's so many things I want to do before that, and so many things that are occupying my time, like mentally right now, for this game. Like, I barely have the gas to go for masters at this point.
Mhm.
Like, looking at the masters I have left, I'm like, ugh, I can probably do a good bulk of these. And the more I look, the more I'm just like, dude, CBA right now doing this. That's why there's not been any updates for the Master Combat Diaries. Like, I don't know, I don't know what the track is for that, but I think eventually, I'll go for GMs and all that stuff. But it's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Right. I'm just saying, I'm not. It's not my community to have a strong opinion on. I just think it'd be kind of silly to have more than one requirement that requires you to purchase an item. Now, it may become something that's like Awakener's Orbs are only 100K at some point. Like they're a troll drop. But right now they're like 3 mil.
They're
2 or 3
2.2.
mil. Okay, they're 2 mil. I think it says like 3 or 4 mil in the clan chat, but that's not the accurate price. I don't know what that is.
I mean,
so like 2 mil item.
The answer to that concern is, if you're going for GMs and if you're going for Blood Torva, you're probably not going to notice 2 mil at a time, right? If you buy like 30 of them, or you buy 100 mil worth of orbs, yeah, it's going to be kind of a big hit. But I think the tax bracket the GMs are aimed at, it's not going to make a difference.
Well, that's good.
If I'm being entirely honest.
Yeah.
So
well,
I think it's, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But what got us into this conversation? We were talking.
I don't know, dude.
Oh, your rebuild.
I think we were asking about my week and my rebuild, but yeah, I don't know. I've been playing the dog shit out of Baldur's Gate 3. I also went to the zoo yesterday, which was a very interesting experience.
Did you end up getting the little moped thing?
No, they were out of mopeds. They had 2 of them that were broken, and then they had one of them that wasn't charged. And this kid, I kept asking him, like, how long do you think it'll charge? Be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Okay. When was it dropped off? Sometime this morning. Zoo's only been open for an hour. When was it? I'll go check the light and see. He looks up. There's an orange light on. What am I supposed to do with that information, right? It means it's not charged. Okay, how much time is left? Could be 30 minutes to an hour. I'm like, just give me a manual wheelchair. I don't care. Just give me like a normal one. Yeah. So I wheeled around riding dirty at the zoo.
Nice.
All day, which was a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
But mainly because I just, call me biased, I prefer the Detroit Zoo over the Toledo Zoo. They have a very cool selection of animals at the Toledo Zoo. But the exhibits are very small. Like, very small.
Tiny.
Like, yeah. I don't know. But I had a good time nonetheless. And the ankle still hurts. That's... I'm gonna hopefully get a consultation tomorrow. I'm gonna call my doctor's office and be like, hey, where's my MRI thing you said you would make for me? So I'm currently walking around in a boot. I don't think I was doing that in the last episode, but I got a big old boot on now. I'm not wearing it at the moment because it hurted. As I drove around to play Go Fest today, which this has been the most disappointing Pokemon Go Fest of my life. Because normally I walk like 30 miles over the weekend for these big events, and like driving around sucks.
Yeah.
And also no one plays the game anymore. Like,
right.
If you're a Pokemon Go player, cool, but like where I am right now, there is not a population of people playing. Like there, occasionally you'll find like a raid team, and it's like mom and her 2 adult children who are just like in town for the event. Like it's nothing crazy, nothing consistent. But I know we kind of touched on your week already, but
Yeah.
what have you been up to this week?
Well, I was out of town, visiting family in Connecticut. The weather was amazing. I came home to Texas and it was 106 degrees at like 9 o'clock at night, and I wanted to die because the entire time I was in Connecticut, it was like it didn't get above like 85. And we went to the beach. It was a fun time. It's where I started killing Calvarion on mobile. Like mobile Calvarion's not terrible. It's literally just like tap boss, run away. So the mechanics aren't terrible to do on mobile. It's just kind of spooky, like with PKers. We're very blessed to have Runelight, and part of that is the player indicators plugin. So it makes the wilderness less spooky when you can see a red name pop up, and you don't have to rely on like seeing someone or focusing on the mini map to have them appear. But like I only got killed once in the 34 KC, and they weren't quick kills either. So like I was in the wilderness for hours at a time, and a couple people tried, but like you can really easily just seed pot away if you see somebody spooky that's really trying to kill you, or eat up and run south. So the biggest hassle was like getting teleblocked before I could seed pot out. But even then, like I'm only risking gear that I can get back really easily. Like the most annoying part about my gear loss is the salve. And even then, like salves are really easy to get, and I'm not taking an imbued salve. Like I'm just taking the enchanted one. So I just need to make a small stack of enchanted salves and go grab a bunch of monk's robes and like get return sets so that I can just go back after a death and not have to worry about it. But I don't really plan on dying that much. But other than Calvarion and mining, like I haven't really been doing much in the actual game. Something kind of random, but I was listening to Guthix Rest when they had like the desert locked accounts on there, and Spari had mentioned a guy named Jeoparite, I think his name is. He does the Northern UIM, and I think this. Let me pull up his channel so I don't get it wrong. Northern UIM. Yeah, it's Jeoparite. This guy's thing is like he only uploads like very occasionally. I think the 19 episodes that he has for his series has taken him several years to post. And so I'm on episode like 11 or 12 of the Northern UIM series, and it's really good. Like it's actually binge worthy. But it's really sad how often he posts, because you want to just keep watching, but then like I'm more than halfway through the current posted episodes. And so at this point I'm like, I need to slow down, because I'm going to get to the point where I'm caught up with everybody and I'm just going to be having to wait. But like with all of these area locked accounts, he does a really good job at kind of making a story with his uploads. It's very reminiscent of like early Settled, where it was very cinematic, and he was taught, he's always has these big goals that he's going for. So yeah, I like Jeoparite. I've not really been into watching YouTube, like RuneScape YouTube, very often lately, but that one, if you haven't seen it, this is not like, he's not paying me to say this, but like it was really good. I'm probably very late to the game. I'm probably very late to like his YouTube channel. So I'm probably not I'm not. This isn't news to anyone. I'm just, I'm bad at watching YouTube. So, yeah, I would watch I figured out how to do picture in picture. That's why I bring it up. I figured out how to do picture in picture on my iPad. So like I can play RuneScape, and then I can have like a little YouTube screen that's on the screen with me. And so it made like doing stuff on my iPad, if I wasn't watching TV, it made it way more enjoyable because I was just binge watching Jep Wright, the Northern UIM series, while I was mining, or even while I was killing Calvarion. Surprisingly, the killing Calvarion was more tricky because I was having to pause it a lot to like move the little player around the screen, or like if I was trying to get away or I was dying. It was difficult. But I was sick all last week too. That was another big thing. So it was kind of lucky that I was not here, because I don't know that I would have been able to record. It was bad. I was like, I think I had a sinus infection, but then I wasn't able to go to the doctor because we were out of state. And I don't personally know if my doctor is able to like prescribe medicine if I'm out of my
I probably would
home
have just written
state.
you a referral for prescriptions, or they probably would have just written you a prescription. Like, I'm not a doctor, but like, ma'am, my cat's very loud. I imagine, like if you just needed an antibiotic, it's not like you're asking for something wild and crazy. I would imagine if you're like medical XP wasters, correct me if I'm wrong, but like,
pretty cut and dry.
Surely in the United States, like surely if you just need antibiotics for some sort of infection, your insurance in most cases would cover a doctor in network in a different state.
I guess I'm going off of my wife can't do therapy outside of the state because the person who is doing the therapy is licensed within that state. And so like if my wife, it's all virtual. But like if my wife were to want to have a session of therapy, she has to be within the state of Texas.
Oh, I know all about that. Don't you worry.
Yeah. So that's what I was going off of.
Got the same rules.
I'm sure it's absolutely correct that I probably could have. But
I mean the same is true with therapy. Like if you fall into crisis while you're out of state and you go to a local therapy office and speak with a crisis counselor, you're not breaking a rule. You're using the service that's there.
Yeah. True.
And then your crisis counselor that you have in the other state could probably realistically do case consultations with the counselor that you normally talk to. Just like you could exchange medical records back and forth.
Gotcha.
So as long as everyone has their proper releases.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, medical XP wasters, let me know. Because I know my rules for therapy, but I don't know rules for prescriptions because I don't write prescriptions because I don't have to, and it's awesome. So
nonetheless, I think my body fought it off and we're good. Like not without the help of a lot of Mucinex and a lot of NyQuil. It's basically how I survived those 10 days. But yeah, I'm doing good now. Just a tiny bit of congestion left over, which is probably just I just need to take like a Xanax or a what do they call those?
Xanax.
Not a Xanax.
A Zyrtec?
Zyrtec. Starts with a Z. I hate that I started to say I said a Z.
Start with a Z.
Is it an X? I think it's an X.
Yeah, I think
Zyrtec. Is that an
It's Zyrtec.
Okay. Allegra. Is that also medicine, or is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't take allergy medicine. I take the.
It also means happy in Italian.
What is?
Allegra means happy in Italian.
That's kind of fun.
The female gendered form.
Huh. But yeah, I mean, other than being sick and other than doing Calvarion, that was about it. One thing that did happen, and this kind of is like main title content. We always say like, "Ooh, this is the topic of the episode." We didn't really have a topic today.
We don't have a topic. Michael texted me yesterday. He's like, I see you're at home. What do you want to do about recording tomorrow? I'm like, well, we can either record late or just not record because my foot hurts and I'm tired. And he's like, sick, recording late it is. Like, awesome. Earlier today, I'm playing Pokemon Go. Michael texts me and says, dude, what if we took the week off for me to just play Baldur's Gate all night? Mind you, this will be the 5th episode in a row that I edit. So I was like, oh, baby, let's get her going. You don't have to tell me twice. Perfect. And he's like, no, I'm kidding. And I'm like, all right, what do you have in mind for a topic? He's like, that's the brilliant part. No idea what we're talking about. I'm like, sweet, dude. So we're chilling.
No topic.
And it's going to be short. Once we hit the 2-hour mark, we're cutting this bitch off right here.
Done and done. Yeah,
which, Michael presented a pretty decent idea for an episode, but I'm like, that is another 4-hour episode in the making, and I'm not doing that this week.
Yeah.
I know I'm not really going to fencing because, like, I can't. I can fence, but it just seems like a waste of time for me to go and sit there and do nothing.
I mean, especially with how far you have to drive.
Yeah, I could edit a 4-hour episode, but no.
Don't want to.
I think we should do that next week when it's not my turn to edit.
Sure. Fair enough. Fair enough. So the topic today is really just kind of going over my thoughts on the summit. It was the saddest summit that I've ever experienced in my personal, because I was like sitting alone, not in a VC with anybody, in the house that we had rented in Cape Cod on my iPad, just like watching it alone. Every other summit.
You meant like, I thought you meant like the contents was sad.
No.
I'm like, I thought it was all right.
No.
Yeah.
No, the summit was very well done. Jagex has just like topped themselves each time they've done these summits, like production wise. I wouldn't say that the content this time was more exciting than old school's first new skill. Like, it's going to be hard to top that in the future, but production wise, it was really good. It was very well done. I liked that they did, like, they took the little breaks to do the giveaways on Discord. Everybody looked great with all of their Hawaiian gear, because it's like summer themed. I don't know if you saw it, but it was Aiza and who's the other one? Arcane. They both had Duke Sicily, or like they had Duke Hawaiian shirts that were like custom made. It was really cool. I kind of want to get one.
That bitch is in the merch store?
I don't think so. Sadly, like I think they just did one of those like like, you know how you can like put your face on a Hawaiian shirt? I sent you that link.
Mm-hmm.
You can like put your face on a Hawaiian shirt. I think they just had somebody make them a Duke shirt. But that's a hardcore missed opportunity for them to not sell those, because those would fly off the shelves.
I would, dude, if I can get RuneScape Hawaiian shirts, I buy the shit out of those things.
Fly off the shelves.
That would be awesome.
Production wise, it was great. Everybody looked great. The giveaways were awesome. Didn't win one, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy all of them. I mean, not all. I don't know if I'll buy all of them. I definitely want the Wise Old Man plushie. I think it's cute as hell. They have the Wise Old Man, Gnome Child, Neve, and Bob the Cat. And I think of all of those, I would probably get either the Gnome Child or the Wise Old Man. One, because I think they're the most cute, and they kind of go with our Patreon tiers. But as far as the content that was talked about, I said it's not going to top the Winter Summit, and that's for a couple of reasons. A big portion of what they were announcing was like Deadman mode, which was happening within a couple of days, and then they had already kind of announced Deadman mode in the Winter Summit, and so that felt like, oh well, you're just telling us something you already told us. And then they announced a new quest, and then they announced like quality of life stuff. So I don't know. It just felt to me like they didn't have enough for an actual summit, so they were trying to fill time. Which is fine if they do more big announcements in these kinds of chunks. We can't expect a new skill. We can't like expect the level of excitement that a new skill brings each time, because generally they have a winter summit and a summer summit, and every 6 months there's not going to be something as big as a new skill. So I understand, but it was a little underwhelming, just a bit. The stuff that was exciting was very exciting. Let's see, I'm gonna pull that up just so I can have Runescape. Mm, 2023. To me, like the most exciting things were probably Varlamore, in no particular order, by the way. Varlamore in leagues, and obviously sailing. But we kind of knew like I don't think they really told us anything we haven't already been told about sailing. It was really just like a recap. So the big ones.
Did you see the shit barely passed?
It did it like
it was like 71.4% of
out of
people voted.
70, right? So it's like 1.4% over. Yeah, that's another thing. Everything that they had proposed at the summit or announced at the summit passed. Like it was a blanket yes for everything. So get excited because everything's coming. But yeah, it was pretty close.
Do we think people have said it on Twitter? And just to scratch the conspiracy itch.
Ooh.
Do we think long term this is why they changed the polling results? I mean, they changed the polling results because the polling system sucks, but like when they changed it from 75 to 70, do we think this is why? Like just to give themselves a little bit more wiggle room for the new skill?
Yeah.
Because
for the new skill, I don't know specifically for the new skill, but I don't think 75 is such a high number. Like I would even say 50. Like that to me that would be just fine if it was 50%. Like most of the time
I'm torn because part like for most things, yeah, I'm fine if it's 50%, but there are a few like niche elitist venues where I'm like, no, it should be higher than that. But yeah, a bunch of filthy landlubbers on Twitter have been bitching like crazy for the last probably week and a half that sailing passed.
They're all like, look, Mom, they gave us new things to bitch about. Loads up the keyboard.
All my shamanism enjoyers out there who are salty that Iron Man the skill didn't pass.
I have seen a bunch of people like legitimately upset that sailing passed by a couple of thousand votes. Maybe not even a couple thousand. It was like a couple of hundred. The difference. So it was like 23,400 for sailing, and then it was like 23,100. It was very close. Between shamanism and sailing. And looking at that poll, it is kind of weird how they did it. One post said that they should have done the top 3. So they should have done all 3. And then they should have re-polled the top 2. And I agree with that. In the grand scheme, they should have done which one would you like to see? And it's select all that apply. So you could have realistically voted for all 3.
Select all that apply wouldn't have worked because he wouldn't have gotten like true numbers for it.
No, they did that though. In the poll where they said we're going to choose the skill, you could select all that apply.
I'm pretty sure you could only select one because
pull
I
it
voted
up.
for taming on the main and I voted for sailing on the iron. I'm pretty sure. But
Poll.
in any case, sailing won.
It did.
Yeah, let's see.
So yeah, they should have definitely re-polled between sailing and shamanism, but alas, they didn't. And we have sailing. And the thing that I say to most of the people who are bitching about it, it's like they're probably going to work on shamanism next. Like in the community consultation, they said that this is not the end. Like, this is not the one and only skill that we're getting. So, like, they could propose shamanism with 2 other skills in the future. It just takes getting the skill that everybody voted for. Not everybody. It takes a skill that most people voted for. It takes getting that out first. Because they're not just going to, like, put sailing on the back burner because people really want shamanism. I would be happy if they put shamanism in the game. But it would definitely take a lot more... it would take a lot more, like, development to really make that decision, just like it did with sailing. So sailing passed, and I don't know. Like, for me, I'm not really expecting it anytime soon still. Like, there is so much content that is still, like, needing to be developed a lot, like, within the skill itself. Like, I would not hope, like, I wouldn't hope essentially that they put it out early 2024 just to get it out. Like, I want them to put real development hours into it, really refine it so that we can have a lot of content out the gate.
If I were a betting man, we're probably looking at February for an open beta. At the absolute earliest, if they just go hog wild on this thing, maybe late December for a beta. Because they're not going to put the skill out without a beta. Because people are going to lose their minds. Which, again, is a little... It's ironically not the spirit of 2007scape to so heavily do the betas and things like that.
Right.
Because back in the day, they were like, here are some seeds. What do we do with these? I don't care. Here are some seeds. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, whoa, it's a farming skill. Like, here's Hunter. It doesn't work. I don't care. Take it. You know, like, it's kind of like not anti 2007scape, because you guys know I don't give a shit about the 2007scape at this point. We are in the here and now, and we need to look forward, right? But I think a lot of the skills that we are used to having, the ones that are so, like, ingrained in our ways we play this game, were just sort of like released one day, you know, without really prior warning, which I think obviously the landscape's a lot different. I understand why they're doing it. I just hope the beta isn't, you know, doesn't like derail the skill, which, like, if it does, good. If it derails the skill and they need to rework on it, cool. I would rather have them do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure if I want it to be an open beta or a closed beta, though. I'm not sure, because a lot of the stuff for, like, I don't know. I want there to still be some, like, wonder when the new skill comes out, and I don't want the new beta to, like, everyone can play it and suddenly everyone knows what's best day one, you know?
Well,
I want to feel like a newbie idiot again, and I'm my only concern, selfishly so, is that a public beta will diminish that, because we'll get someone, I don't know who it was, but the person who was hitting like the 150s with the ruinous powers on the dummies, because they were AGSG mauling with the new powers and they were just eviscerating the thing. Like, I worried if we find too many things like that, not only is the skill going to take even longer to come out, which, like, good, that should be a fix, but also, like, when day one comes out, everyone's going to have a theory crafted plan and not just, like, figure it out themselves. But that's more of a personal, selfish nature than it is the effectiveness of a beta, because beta good for this kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. They would likely have to do something to where it's, like, very limited, number one, but also you can really only get to a certain point. Like, there's no chance and there's no shot that somebody could get 99 in a beta. Like, they would have to cap it at, like,
depends on what the XP rates
you
are.
can get to level 10 and then your beta experience is done. And even then they may not have those may not be the actual things that are offered once they release it. So they could have like these are beta specific strategies, and then there could be, live game strategies.
I just think that there's no way they don't do a beta or a play test and not test every piece of it, right? Like, there's no way that they be like, all right, here's up to level 10, enjoy sailing around Port Sarim, and then we get into the deep ocean and it's broken as shit and it doesn't work, or the XP rates are too high off the charts or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, the skill's gonna need refinement post launch. Yeah, that's an inevitability, but like, so SOSD says give everyone 99 and 0 XP drops, but you don't know what is level capped. So like they allow you to pretty much go everywhere, but they don't give you everything. Right?
That could work.
That might be something fun.
Yeah.
Because then like there's no like people have to sweat out the best strats, and especially if there's no XP, they don't have an XP per hour threshold for sailing.
Right. You're just testing all of this stuff, but not really knowing how you got there.
Just to like physically see if it works, right? And I think that again, that's fun because that gives people something to strive for as well. Like if the deep ocean content is super fun, but you don't get deep ocean content till 77 sailing, right? That's something to work for right out of the gate from the beta. So I think that's SOSD brings up a good point. 99 out of the gate, access to every core mechanic, but with no explanation about what anything is.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
So that could be fun.
I don't know how other games do like betas, or even if RS3 does skill betas, because they may have like, how they bring people in, like Soul Mission goes in.
Yeah, they might play test.
They might do that kind
I'm
of
sure
stuff.
they'll definitely play test, but I don't know if I just don't know what the beta is going to look like.
So other than sailing, I think the next biggest thing was Varlamore, which is early 2024, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be fun as hell. With all of the new content and everything that it's offering, it's like this is just going to revive the game in a way that we haven't seen since Zaya. Zaya brought so much to the game that Varlamore, while it's not a huge continent, it's not like Zaya level of big. You got to remember, Zaya was kind of small when it first came out. And it was.
I think it's physically bigger than Zaya.
Is it really?
I think so.
Is it on the world map yet, or is that?
No, it's not.
It's
They're not going to put it. I think
out.
Like not the first part that comes out. I think is going to be about as big as the Kingdom of Karend, from like the western border of Shazian, probably through the eastern edge of Hosidius. Right? I would imagine it's about that size of landmass. But it's like the whole region itself is
quite a bit bigger. Okay, so yeah. It's huge, and the things that they're proposing are like it's fun stuff. Like the Colosseum sounds pretty fun. I don't know. I haven't seen too much about it, but I know that it's wave based, and I know that they're talking about like trying to cater to the high level community with that content. So it still could be very hard, but also accessible for people. Like it just gets crazier the longer that you go, and there's not really an endpoint to it. That could be fun. The Hunters Guild, I'm looking forward to that. Any new guild that they brought into the game has just added value to the skill, and it's all the more proof that I think that we need guild reworks. Like the Cooking Guild is pretty much useless. We can go there to bake pie, but having a kitchen that offers more than just a range would be really neat. The Ranging Guild is pretty useless as well. So like having a guild rework within the game, I think would be necessary. What else is on Varlamore? Hold on. There's a whole post about it. We have the Hunters Guild, the Colosseum. There's like a colossal worm remains. That looks cool. The whole city itself just brings a lot of new and fresh places to explore. But one thing that I did notice about the city of so forgive me, but it's Civitas Ilia Fortis. There's a lot of water spots and a lot of cooking ranges, but not a lot of banks. So I like the first thing that I did when we saw the map is I was trying to figure out, is this going to change the meta for anything? As far as like, are we getting a new anvil that's close to a bank, or a new smithing spot that's, a new furnace? But I don't think so. There is an anvil near the Coliseum, and it's near a bank, but I don't think it's going to be closer than Prif, which is fine. Prif and Varrock have their places as like the spots, but there is a house portal there, there's at least an estate agent. I don't know if there's an actual house portal. There's an estate agent.
Sounds like a Mahogany Homes expansion, baby.
Yo, that would be actually kind of cool. Put some a new home. Like, I could foresee a new rooftop course there. It's not like on the actual proposal. Like, there's no agility icon, but I don't see why they couldn't add a rooftop course to this city. That would be kind of neat. So Varlamore all around, I'm very excited about. And the other thing that none of you are excited about, but that I'm very excited about, is our very good friend Scape Caution is very excited for Varlamore, and this might bring him back to the game. So if we can get Scape Caution back, all is right in the world. And he's been playing again because of Desert Treasure too. But the one thing that he was like his ears perked up, I imagine, is like, wait, Varlamore? So the last thing that I'm excited about, and this is what I wanted to devote the most time to, was the topic of leagues. Because I don't know if it was before we started recording or while we were recording, but Oxie all but, like, curb stomped me when I said something about leagues. He's like, he's not even going to play it. And then even somebody in the recording booth, who was it? Soggy Waffles, I think, was trying to get on my case, saying that
you make me seem like an arrogant hater. I said I'm a leagues enjoyer, and Michael is a leagues hater, because somebody asked in the recording booth chat before we started, hey, can we get a leagues guide episode? Can we get something to like walk us through leagues? And Michael's like, ugh, it's far too early for that.
That's all I said.
It doesn't come out till the winter, you guys.
That's all I said.
I'm like, I bet it's last week of October, like Halloween, post-Halloween. He's like, no, winter. And I looked at the thing, and I'm like, dude, it's scheduled right after the Halloween event. I bet last week of October, first week in November. And then all I said was, Michael's a leagues hater.
Definitely not a leagues hater. I am reformed. And it was SOSD that said, Michael's saying leagues like he's going to play it. That's all he said. And you know what? I will play it. I will, because listen, Oxie. Listen. The last 2 leagues, and I say that the last 2 because we weren't a show when Twisted
Nobody
League.
played Twisted League. People did. I didn't.
People
I don't
did.
think you did.
I did, but I chose the wrong relic, and then I think that's what set me off on this villain arc of leagues. Is like, I wasn't a endless runner for the first league, and so I just quit like within a day. I picked the prayer relic because I thought, ooh,
damn, dude, I wish they would have made that relic a passive for everyone as soon as you join leagues. That's crazy.
They did in the next one.
Oh my god, did they?
Listen,
huh?
I don't need your sass right now. The next 2 leagues, I was very focused on maxing my account, and account progression during that time just felt wasted. Like, I would log in and I would be getting all these levels. I would see the numbers go up, and I would think to myself, yeah, but like, I could just do this on my main. And so it really demotivated me to want to play the league when, number 1, I was maxing, but number 2, they were like, you cannot deny that leagues are PVM focused. Like, a lot of the things that you do within a league is like centered around PVM. A lot of the tasks, you're an Iron Man, so like, you need to get gear, you need to do things that require PVM. And so PVM has not always been my favorite thing. And I would say that I am more open-minded to leveling skills outside of an account that I'm playing on, and I'm more open-minded to PVM as the person I am sitting as, as the man I am right now. In the past, I was not so much open-minded, but I am now. So things have changed, and I am excited about leagues because thinking about the rewards, and when I finally get a dragon pickaxe, having the ornament kit on my group Iron Man account is going to be great because I'm going to be playing leagues on my group Iron Man account, so that all of the untradeable cosmetics can be things that are actually untradeable. I know they're tradable, but for an Iron Man, you have to do leagues to get them. You can't just go to the GE and buy a Trailblazer kit.
Can Iron Man not use the GE?
I don't know why you are so condescending today.
I don't know why you thought, brother. You're explaining that Iron Man can't use the GE. We're 120 weeks into our professional old school RuneScape podcast. Unless you're fresh off Tutorial Island, everybody knows that.
Anyway, I'm excited about leagues, and the fact that it's Trailblazer 2 kind of makes it better because I played Trailblazer probably the most out of any league. I didn't really like Shattered Relics. It wasn't my cup of tea. But Trailblazer, I did play. And I don't know if I'll go with the same 3 regions because you now have the option for Kourend, which is a massive region with so much potential. But I feel like a league's deep dive is for another time. We have so many more weeks leading up to this league to really nerd out about it. But all that to say, I am a changed man. I am a more open-minded person, and I will be participating in this league probably the entire time. I really don't foresee myself going back to the main game for any major reason. The thing that got me back to the main game all those other leagues was because I was trying to max my account, and it felt like this was not the time. And I feel like we've had this conversation before where I've told you that once I max, I'll play leagues. And now is the time for me to prove that. Now is the time for those words to become actions. You still don't believe me. I can see it in your eyes.
It's not that I don't believe you. It's that I foresee several other obstacles coming up.
Oh.
That you would have to really mentally push through.
Like what?
To play leagues.
Baldur's Gate 3?
No, that is a physical. I before I bought it, I was like, this could ruin Michael's life. Send. like I played that game for quite literally 30 minutes, like an hour. And I was like, Michael needs this game. He physically has to have this game. So I waited for my payday and I bought it. But no, not Baldur's Gate, not that. It's things you're capable of doing, right? It's things you're going to get easily frustrated at. You ever killed Kriara 400 times in a night?
Never once.
You ever wanted to?
Never once.
You ever been told you have to?
Never once.
There are some things that are fun in leagues. I know you don't like PVM. You don't like it at all. You got a lot of mental hurdles when it comes to PVM, right? Getting into the psychoanalytic, this isn't psychoanalytic, but whatever.
He's
getting into the psyche. Yeah, getting into the diagnosis of your PVM. You don't like it very much at all. It makes you uncomfortable. Doing bad in PVM makes you uncomfortable. Leagues is not that. Leagues is like you stand in front of Zuck with absolute unit and just stitch your armor and just let the shield go and just 1v1 that son of a bitch because you kill him that quickly. Like healers who, right? Leagues is a totally different animal. The biggest problem I foresee with leagues is you get too far behind. or you have to do things that you don't like doing. You ever done solo chambers?
I've not.
Leagues is a joke. Like, I'm not like I did solo chambers in leagues. It's a joke.
Which one?
With the relics.
You could do
Leagues.
leagues. Yeah, you could do chambers and shadow relics. I forgot.
Yeah, because you were like machine gunning Olm. Like you couldn't die, it felt like, for a while. Like it's easy in that regard. I also foresee you having the exact same little skiller's itch of going, man, I just got 90 agility on leagues. I could have gotten this in the main game because I'm like 77 in the main games. Like I could have, and then all this progress is really for a waste. Like I already have enough points to buy the ornament kits that I want, right? I don't care about the outfit or the house stuff or the trophies. Oxie, I don't care about the trophies, right? I've already got the ornament kit for my whip. I've already got the ornament kit for my rune crossbow, and I've already got the ornament kit for my dragon pickaxe. I just don't see a point for me to keep playing leagues when it's all stuff I'm going to have to do again on a different Iron Man account. And it's going to be like, no, you're making that face, but like you need to understand, it's going to be so much more meaningful on my group Iron Man account than it will be for leagues, right? So I think it's been a fun week. It's been a fun weekend. I'm glad we got to spend some time together, but I think I'm going back to the main game. He's laughing. For the people who are not watching this video, he had his hand in his face laughing because he knows damn well that is a huge possibility for Leagues 3. You know damn well.
Yes. But I'm gonna fight it.
I give him 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, Mithril Cup.
Hey, that would be a PP for me. Actually, no, I've gotten a Mithril Cup match before. So I guess it's gonna depend on the regions that I pick. I think for me. So I'm gonna my goal for this league is to do way more theory crafting than I've ever done in the past. And that's obviously going to be something that a lot of people have to do, but the regions are everything. Like I was like half considering going for the wilderness because there's like the new bosses and revs are pretty great for money and for the weapons. And then you have the Void Waker and all of the new stuff. Like it's just, I don't know. I've been thinking about it in a different way than I have been in the past, and really trying to think, is this the league that I make at least adamant with a stretch goal of Rune Cup? I don't know. It's going to be easier this time around because they're setting like static. They're setting like actual point values.
So excited for the static point thresholds. I can't wait. It's gonna really like prevent me from losing my mind at the end of leagues. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. And so it's like
I would bet the Rune Cup threshold's probably between 30 and 35,000 points if I were a betting man.
What does that put Dragon at, like 50?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because like you got to figure Dragon Cup is like top 0.1% of players or something.
Well, it was in the past, but a lot more people might get Dragon Cup now because they're not putting that hard restriction on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Vengor says, I'm getting a Bofa and then living in Cox. Being overpowered in Cox is like a dream. Well, that would require you to pick Taranwin, which is arguably a very weak region just because it's so small. Like you literally have Prif and Zulrah. That's the hard part. Is like there's content that gives you very good stuff, but you're literally getting that region for just that. So he says Taranwin, Desert, and Zaya. Not a bad 3, if I'm being honest.
That's Blade of Saldor, Twisted Bow, Fang, Shadow of Temekin, Dragon Claws, Dragon Hunter Crossbow, Bofa, Blowpipe, all the Onyxes you could need, Serp Helm, Crystal Armor, which frankly you probably main hand, Abyssal Whip, Infernal Cape.
Oh, right, because you have the entire Karen.
I would imagine they give you Karamja for free.
They did,
right?
yeah.
Like, just like it did last time.
Mhm.
Yeah, Missouri you get, Lightbearer. Like, there's a lot of good. I would hope Karamja's free this time around.
I think Karamja's going to be free. Mistlin
Yeah,
and Karamja.
it's a great trade-off. Yeah. That's fun, especially because last time for Dragon Warhammer, only if you hate yourself. You kind of have to though,
But aren't
which
drop
sucks
rates,
because
like,
it's going to be like a
buffed? Drop
yeah,
rates are
but like
buffed, so,
four times the drop rate of a Dragon Warhammer is still like 1 in 750. Like it's still not a good drop rate. It's not like a 1 in like God War's armor is like a 1 in 64
Mhm.
at like max rate. So like it's a little different, you know.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more feasible because in the first Trailblazer they had a relic where it halved the attack speed of the respective style. So people had the 1-tick blowpipes,
Right.
where they were do, so cool.
Mhm.
I think the 1-tick blowpipe tack would be super cool to do. I think if you choose Tyranwin, you kind of have to go with a range build. Because from what they've had in the past, right, for the last Trailblazer, they pretty much had the deciding factor at the very beginning was which combat relic are you going to choose.
Right.
And that kind of determines how you play the game. There was the melee relic, which really lent itself well to Mauritania. There was the mage relic that really lent itself well to Desert and Tyranwin. And then there was the range relic that lent itself really well to places like Asgarnia, where you had the crossbow option. Gauntlet was in the game. Was Bofa in the game?
Yeah.
Was Bofa
No.
in the game for... I don't think Bofa was in the game
I don't
for...
think so.
I gotta look that up.
But when
I have
people
to.
went
That's
to
gonna kill me.
Tyranwin, they generally got a blowpipe though. Like I think that's why people
Yeah.
chose.
Yeah, Bofa
Tyranwin.
wasn't in the game for Trailblazer.
Wow.
So you got the 1-tick blowpipe, right? And that was like the range build, right? So this time around, they're probably going to do something similar, right? At least I would think they do. If it's Trailblazer Reloaded, I imagine there's going to be a lot of old familiar themes and relics and a lot of like new ones as well.
Yeah.
The one thing I kind of hope they do this time around is they make Last Recall a permanent unlock at like a tier 2 or a tier 3 relic. Because I think the biggest thing that killed Trailblazer for a lot of people was like, oh, you chose the jewelry relic. That's all right. Or like the poor souls who chose like the fairy ring relic. I think there was something like 100 fairy ring users in the Dragon Cup, or like I think once you got later and later in, like the higher the trophies, the less and less fairy ring users have them. Because fairy ring was such a shitty.
What was it again?
Shitty. You could summon a fairy ring wherever you were and travel to any fairy ring location.
Oh my gosh.
Versus Last Recall, which was like
house.
Yeah, which was like there was a lot of alternatives to it too. Like it didn't matter, right? Exactly. Avengor says that's called the Hell's Teleport. Exactly. And then with Last Recall, you can just go right back. So I hope they make the Last Recall orb a permanent unlock. If there are JMods listening who are working on leagues, I know there's not, but just in case, make Last Recall a permanent unlock at like tier 2 or tier 3 relics, right? Give it like unlimited stam. Give it to everyone, right? Just like stacking clues and Slayer tasks, give those to everyone too, right? Don't make people choose these things. Make people choose between other utterly ridiculous things, right? But don't make them choose. Don't make them choose that. I think, that what Avengor said with Tyranwin, Desert, and Zaya, that definitely lends itself well to a really sick range build.
Yeah.
I personally, we talked about it last week. I've been really thinking Desert, Mauritania, Zaya,
the 3 raid regions.
The 3 raid regions, because that, like, doing that with friends and leagues, raids with the boys is fun. right? Top with the boys is probably my favorite group activity in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Top with the boys when we're all literal demigods, that's something else entirely. It's insane.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. Trailblazer, Theater of Blood, and I didn't even know how to do top then. It was so much fun. It kind of lit the spark that was like, this is going to be your new favorite piece of content.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took me several months to actually do it correctly. And then it took me several more months to be good enough at it to do it consistently. And now that I can do it consistently and could go back and be a demigod, ooh, I cannot wait. I want to be able to do all 3 raids with the boys. I want to have an account with all 3 super weapons on it. Granted, I don't love TOA and I don't love Chambers. It's a very different experience doing PVM and leagues.
Mm-hmm.
For not only you, Michael, but if a lot of listeners, if you haven't played any leagues before, like there have been relics in the past, and I'm sure there will be relics in this upcoming league that truly make PVM totally different
Mm-hmm.
than what it is in the main game. Like death means nothing. You are way stronger than you could possibly imagine in the main game ever.
Right.
Like it's so worth it and so much fun to just like try out and have a good time with. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know what build I'll go with though, because I've got all 3 super weapons
really
ideally.
do.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be which combat style. I'm not sure. I'm thinking probably melee because that's a 3-tick scythe, a 3-tick fang, a 2-tick rapier, a 2-tick whip.
Damn.
And then melee be mega cracked because like melee is the weakest of the 3 armor domains in that region.
Yeah.
Your best in slot is Amulet of Fury, Full Obsidian, Infernal Cape, Rune Boots, Regen Bracelet, and then Rada's Blessing or Dragon Arrows.
Wow.
So you can get absolutely just ridiculous weapons. You don't get a defender either. So like Dragon Fire Shield is your best offhand. Like you can have absolutely ridiculous weapons, scythe, rapier, like I said, claws. Ooh, claws and leagues is so much fun. As I imagine Void Waker is going to be super fun in leagues too. Because if you get a relic that like reduces your spec by half, and then you drink the blue potion at TOA, which reduces it by half again.
Oh my gosh.
And then you can Void Waker for only 12% spec, or you can DDS for 6% spec.
Oh my goodness.
You can just chew, just rip it up with the DDS the whole time. God, I can't wait for leagues.
Yeah. I'm half considering picking the desert, or I'm half considering picking the wilderness just for that reason. Like really pushing myself to do the wildy bosses when they're 0 risk, because PKing is not a thing in leagues. Yes, it's a thing, but like
it is, but you don't lose anything.
It's a minor inconvenience rather than like an account changing loss.
I think the most inconvenient part was in Shatter Relics. There was a task to hold 1,000 black chins.
Yeah,
and you kept everything when you got killed except your black chins because they coded them to still run away on death. And it was so annoying.
Yeah.
Because like I think I had banked like every 150 chins for that task because I had a buddy who died at like 900 chins and they had to do it all over again. I think it was poor Jake back in the day. But yeah, that task sucked. But oh god, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
You guys are gonna hear a lot about leagues.
You really are. I think that like the next 2 months are just gonna be filled with theory crafting and excitement, and like we could go on for another 2 hours probably just talking about the excitement of leagues. And
yeah, and I'm sure at some point we will do, like I mentioned before the episode started, I kind of wanted to do like regional breakdown videos, like go through all the regions real quick, what's in them, what can you access, and just put it up on the Xpwaste YouTube channel for people. I genuinely don't know when I'm going to have the time to do that, so we might just do an episode, like a region breakdown episode.
Region. Ooh,
I'll prepare like a bunch of content for that.
Yeah, we could do an episode, and then we could break like we could break up each section into its own mini episode after the fact. So if people want to just click on the Kandrin episode, we could just have each little segment its own video.
Mm-hmm.
So
that could work.
Wow, that's kind of cool. Somebody just posted the all the gear that's in every region. That's neat. Yeah, the fact that they're bringing Zaya, I think, to kind of cap this conversation. The fact that they're bringing Zaya into a Trailblazer style league is what really is getting me excited. Because like, if I'm just shooting from the hip, I think it's going to be Wilderness, Zaya, and something like Kandrin or Asgarnia as my 3 regions, just so I can have kind of a well balanced skilling and PVM style account. Because I still think maxing would be kind of fun to do in a league, but you really have to consider all of the methods you have available with such limited regions. And so, yeah, just kind of that's my shoot from the hip style of the regions that I might pick. But that may change based on what I want to do. I think that if we did want to keep this to be a shorter episode, now would be a good time to send the folks to break.
I believe it will be. Yes, folks, enjoy the break. Enjoy this commercial. Get excited for all the stuff coming out in this, what is essentially Summer Summit Part 2 episode we just covered. So, folks, we'll see you after this.
How you doing, you bastards? My name's Fortunato. I work out of Draenor Village. I sell the best wine in the whole damn continent. Not in Draenor, not in Misthalin, not in Gillinor, the whole world. I sell the best wine in the whole damn world. People tell you, you're gonna buy wine for cheaper on the Grand Exchange. They lying to you. That's juice. That's juice. The best wine comes from me. The pirates, they buy my wine. Them freaks with the hats over there in Zia, they buy my wine. Okay? You gotta come over here, you gotta buy my wine. At Fortunato's, we don't waste nothing. Very rarely do I have wine that go off because it's so good it starts flying off the shelves. When it do go off though, the vinegar, we're gonna sell that too. I hear there's some old man just east of Iraq or something like that. He wants vinegar. I don't care why. In this business, you don't ask no questions. You're hearing this ad, you're thinking to yourself, you're like, oh, I got some buddies who make wine, I could do that too. You wanna be a tough guy? Huh? You wanna be a tough guy? Make your own wine? Try to outsell Fortunato? Yeah, sure, whatever. I dare you. I dare you to outsell me. In fact, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a head start, okay? Come over to my place, I'll sell you some jugs. They can be full of water, they can be empty, I don't care. Not even your girlfriend at the Grand Exchange has better jugs than me. I get these bitches by the gross. I'll sell you as many as you want. You can make all the wine that you want. It's not gonna be better than me. Come swing by Draenor Village, swing by my wine stand, have a good drink, and leave feeling good, okay? I promise you, you're not gonna find any better wine anywhere else.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial because I know that I sure did. Folks, it's that time. It's that time of day, of evening, of morning, of frankly, whenever you're listening to this episode, where we break out the patrons and we announce them for you guys, right? This definitely isn't me stalling while I sort the patrons' filters properly. I would never do that to you guys. But in any case, we do have one new wise old man this week. Please welcome Lobter to the wise old man
Welcome.
tier. Blanked and what it was called. Yeah. I like that name, by the way. Lobter.
I've been saying
Sounds
lobster,
good.
but definitely no S in that
Lobter.
name.
Lobter. I like it. It's like something I'd call my cat. And I like it a lot. But if you're there in the wise old man's here, you're on screen right now because I've put that up there. It's 9:40, and as my once great podcast host would say, the late Michael would say, I'm fading fast. So I'm trying to get through this as smooth as possible. He's not dead. He's just not been on the show for a week.
I'm back.
So we're getting into the King Black Dragon tier, folks. If we're gonna do it, we're doing it. So huge shout out to Broix70, Buckeyes, My Dad, Hi Dad, Cloud Kicker, Damon S, Dicky Bird, Elite Oreo Dunker, EXP Enjoyer, Gay Raccoon, Gumby, Legend Gary, Ron Garian, Lil Drakey, Mark, aka Ice Steam, Mike Oxmall, MT Birchfield, our third favorite supporter, Ralph, Rylithian, SatanBot666, Seppi J, Seth Shep, Skooma92, SOSD3, Spartan Fire, Taco Ninja, the Big G Jordy, the Crayola Cran, Toast No Toast, and Tiz Talk Coots. Thank you all so much for your staggering support here at the KBD tier. We love you very dearly. We appreciate you, and we're glad you appreciate us enough to show this support for as long as you guys have. Right?
Freaking
it
legends.
really does mean the world to us. So, with that thanks in tow, if you guys would like to thank us, see, this is where I fumble here. If you want to support us, go to Patreon or don't. But if you want to, patreon.com/Xpwaste. You can subscribe for as low as $1. And I genuinely am going to look into and see if we can have a $0 tier. I don't know what you would get from it,
Right.
but the idea that maybe a $0 tier could be possible.
It could be like the
Might
stray
be fun.
dog tier. The Varrock stray dog.
The stray
Charlie
dog
the
tier,
Tramp.
yeah. Throwing him a bone on Patreon. Hey, yo. Anyways, Vengor says, thanks for nothing. And frankly, that's funnier than shit. Shout out to the Gnome Child, the Party Pete tier, the Wise Old Man tier, and the KBD tier for supporting us. And thank you to the Varrock Stray Dog tier for absolutely goddamn nothing. Anyways, back to the show. That could be a good one. But yeah, go over there and support. It's the community question time. And we got a lot of community question responses.
We do.
So
we do.
strap in, folks. We got community questions. They're coming.
They're here. So last week, Oxie and Spari asked you guys, what was your favorite part of the Summer Summit, and what are you most looking forward to? So there are quite a bit here. I don't know if we have any on YouTube. I haven't checked because historically there's not a pinned comment.
I pinned the comment.
Okay, you pinned the comment.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
I woke up to 7 app messages from Otis in the Xpwaste chat telling me shit that I did wrong when I uploaded the episode. So I did pin the comment when I got to work that morning. Okay?
Love it.
Off me.
I love it. Okay,
Damn it,
so
Michael.
there is 7. There's 7 responses on YouTube. So we'll get to those in just a second. So starting with our replies over on Spotify, kicking us off. Otis says, not my favorite, but the most intriguing is the farming guild. I'm really curious on how it's going to work. I see hunter contracts being a thing, but I'll need to be able to block animals slash methods like Slayer. Blocking animals. I don't want to touch butterflies. You put them on your block list. Yeah. Hunter. Sorry, you did say hunter. Hunter guild. Otis is in the chat, is in the recording view chat right now, and we got that instant edit. So yes, not my favorite, but the most intriguing is the Hunters Guild. Did I say Farming Guild? I'm so sorry.
You did. 100%. Yeah.
Oh, we're doing great. That was the first response. Hunters Guild, not Farming Guild. Next up, we have Nate Dog. They said the best part was how salty players were at Prif U's in the forestry worlds, complaining. May the salt of their tears fill the oceans for sailing. Varlamore and the new quest could be great. Wait, what?
That's why you're my boy, Nate. That's why you're my boy.
How salty players were at Prif U's in forestry worlds? Oh,
so he was doing forestry in Prif, and people were
forestry.
bitching in game.
Gotcha. May the salt of their tears fill the oceans for sailing. That's great. That's probably... that to me is like one of those responses you get when you're sitting on the toilet and it's like your morning poop and it's just like the creative juices are flowing. That's where I have most of my best ideas. DJ says League's hype. Never had the chance to do one, and the way Oxie always hypes them up has me pumped to try it. Honestly, same. I think that I need to channel more Oxie when it comes to leagues, and that's what I'm gonna do this time. He's gonna be my hype man.
Mithril Cup.
No, stop. Listen, I don't do well with joking discouragement because it literally will discourage me.
You don't.
If you keep saying Mithril Cup, I'm just gonna get Mithril Cup. So stop that. Moist Sean says, never played a Leagues before, so looking forward to Leagues 4. Would love an episode on some Leagues tips for the first timers. You don't say. Sean, it's coming, my guy. And people are probably going to be like literally begging us to stop talking about Leagues. That's how much we're going to talk about Leagues. They're going to be begging us to stop. Darkomatic says, I can't wait for the new, quote, Blue Inferno. Not because I'm going to try it, because I'm not skilled, but seeing the content creators do it. So, hey, that is usually what happens when it comes to content that's new. It's like you consume the content via people who are really good at it. So, definitely a strat. Also, I like your name, Darkomatic. Next up, Bloodhound says, I'm super excited for Varlamore. I wonder who wrote that. It was me. The Rep Dog says, it has to be Leagues. Jagex finally pulled the finger out and decided to bring it back. This was something somebody else said they need to pull their finger out. Like, why do you have fingers in things? Anyway. Will give me a good break from the iron grind. That's what I'm saying, Rep Dog. This is what I'm saying. It's going to be like a break, not an obligation. Are you hearing me? A break, not an obligation. Okay?
I hear you.
Repeat it back to me. A break, not an obligation. Anyway, Dion says, Cox Scouting rework is going to be lit. I think it is too. I voted yes on it simply because any change to chambers is good at this point. But like the current method of doing the things that they want to do are not terrible. It is kind of crappy that you have to have like another account with membership just to like hold the raid for you, or even just well, no, you don't actually anymore. Just to scale the raid rather, but. Like, it's not that hard to just have your friend come over and join the raid for a second and then teleport out. I think it's kind of silly that they're saying that you have to pay for it. Like, it would cost money. Like, you put money in a coffer to scale the raid. Why? You can already do it for free. It would just become dead content if you had to pay exorbitant amounts of money. Like, that takes away from your money per hour when you're already doing a pretty silly raid that not a lot of people like. Anyway, if you're going to make an improvement, make it an improvement. I don't think it should cost money. That's my stance. Man, the recording booth chat is going off right now, and I can't read any of it because I have other things I need to read. So
they're all talking about Leagues.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just the Leagues conversation is continuing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Next up, we have Dinosaur. Sailing and sailing. Massive potential. I'm so stoked that we as a community could rally around a 71% majority and get it to pass on the first try. No Runefest announcement though. Bummer. I agree with everything you said. The fact that it was like one and done, polled, good to go, pass was great. And I was really sad that they didn't announce anything for Runefest. Like I'm fully expecting if they do a winter summit to have some sort of like Runefest announcement, because I feel like we need an announcement at least a year in advance if they're going to do it fall of 2024. So that's my expectation anyway. Sometime in the fall of 2024. But whatever. Tuhi says, frick that dead man mode. Exclamation point at symbol, exclamation point at symbol, pound sign, exclamation point at symbol, heart, exclamation point at symbol, exclamation point, heart. Also, what do you re you? Hee hee, nice. Oxie had a typo in the question, so he's calling that out. That's fine. He says, love you guys. Love you too, he's. Two he's. It was probably it was either really early or really late when Oxie posted this question. And he was doing it completely alone. He didn't have his normal co-host to be there for him to support him through all of these tough community question posts and times. So I completely
we got the
understand.
questions done in one take. It was great.
Listen, okay, stop that. I think the way that you and Spari did the community question was actually kind of fun because it made it more like a conversation where like right now it's just me reading it and then giving my thoughts. But whenever you and Spari were doing it, like you would read it and then you would pause and you would ask him what he thinks. But I don't think there was 25 responses or like 30 responses you had to get through.
We only had like 10 responses. We got a little bit more time, you know?
Yeah. So I kind of like that. So if we get less responses, I definitely would like it to be more of a back and forth. Anyway, Powerful Gay says, new quests, new characters and lore, new storylines to get abandoned 2 years down the road. Let's go. Yeah. The new quest does sound fun.
Optimistic as ever.
That's one thing we didn't actually talk about this episode. And you guys kind of touched on it, but like the Path of Gluffery, like that I'm genuinely excited about that because it's going to offer something other than an Ibans blast for the group Iron Man account. And anything other than Ibans before we get to 87 Slayer is going to be a dream. I don't know if it's going to cost runes. I don't know if it's going to be like a charge weapon or it's going to take some sort of ether, but whatever it is, I'm genuinely excited about it because that means that content like maybe Seren is a little bit easier or a little bit more doable because I won't have to use the Ibans blast. Or maybe Zora becomes a little bit more viable in a magic situation. So it just opens the door, I think, for more content sooner than having to wait for a trident, which is great. DRabbit17 says, Leagues 100%. I was on a break from the game the past 2 leagues, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Damn, that's a long break. Welcome back. Hope you have a good time at this league. Again, we're going to talk about it, and you're probably going to ask us to stop talking about it. Alex.
To which I will say no.
No. Alex says, gotta be sailing now, since it's actually starting to look like a real skill. I'm a real boy. I have not seen anything past like the what they call that, like the gameplay where essentially they like you stood on a boat and they were like clicking around. Like we proved that we can do it. I haven't really looked into sailing past that.
You're an old school RuneScape content creator and you've only watched the first 4-minute video about the new skill that's coming
pretty
out?
much.
Dog.
Like I've read the blogs. Like I know that there's going to be activities and new ores and new islands, but I don't know. I haven't done the deep dive into sailing, which is probably for the best because it's still far a long way away. Things are subject to change. So, Mockcat says, I've been sold on sailing for a while now, and I always love quests. Excited to get back into a league. I missed the last one and barely played the second one. By the way, Dillygaff is an acronym and a song. Yeah, you guys were talking about Dillygaff the last time you read the community question. I don't know in what context, but there was
I think it was Achievement of the Week.
Was it Achievement of the Week?
Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't know how to pronounce it, yeah.
Dillygaff. Thank you, Mockcat. Next up, we have Jack. They said Varlamore looks really exciting, and especially the potential of having the Blue Inferno added in with it. It's funny that you guys are calling it the Blue Inferno because it has a name, the Colosseum, but keep calling it the Blue Inferno because that's probably going to be its nickname, even though it's called the Colosseum. It's just how like
depends on what they offer.
Yeah.
So somebody asked earlier, I think it was Evanyor, asked what the Blue Inferno was. A couple years back, Mud Husky and somebody else for a game jam proposed the Tessical Trials, which were a set of like 4 waves, but there were 3 sets of 4 waves. So the first set was aimed at people who had a fire cape. The first set was for people who had, or the second set was for people who had an infernal cape, and the third set was aimed at like mega gamers.
Mm-hmm.
With the idea being, if you complete all 3 sets or something, you get some sort of upgrade. And somebody, I think it was on Reddit, somebody posted like possible Tessical trial reward or something, and it was just a blue infernal cape. People have been talking about the idea of a blue colored infernal cape for several years as like an upgrade to the infernal cape.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
They might add infernal cosmetics, but I don't think. Personally, I think the infernal cape looks cool enough to not need a cosmetic.
Right.
But who knows?
Yeah, SOSD says they legit said in the Summer Summit that this is not the same as the Blue Infernal. So it's like they took it as a concept, but the Blue Inferno, the Testicle Trials, it's a completely different thing. Like this is not them.
The Testicle Trials, one of their proposals was upgrades to the 4 DK rings.
Oh.
So.
Which we have those now. So, yeah. So if you didn't know, now you know. Next up, Kevin says, I'm excited about leagues. I mainly play a mid-level GIM right now, but I've never played a league before, so I feel like it'll be a good change of pace. I could not agree more. A good change of pace, not an obligation. Tax says, leagues. Never done them before, but I'm looking forward to the cosmetics. I could not agree more. I'm looking forward.
No, guys, he keeps saying these things like he's trying to convince me. He's trying to convince himself.
I'm trying to convince you.
What he knows is that I'm going to play leagues until it ends, with or without him. And I'm going to talk about it, whether or not he wants to hear about it on the show. He's trying to convince himself that he's going to play because he knows that little psychoanalysis I did in the last part of the show is 100% correct. So he's hyping himself up, folks. That's what he's doing that for. Don't get it twisted. He's not trying to convince me.
It's funny. Yes, the psychoanalysis, it made me laugh. And in some sense, it is true. It very well could happen. But I'm really trying to not let it happen. Like, this league is the perfect opportunity to play on an account that doesn't have any major goals. Like, all of my goals are wide open on my GIM. And I can finally, like, if I want a multi-log, I can play on my main account and do cooking. Like, it's very AFK for me just to multi-log and do cooking. So, and I may be able to do other things on my main account. Like, I have a lot of, XP goals on my main account that could potentially do while I'm playing leagues. So you never know. Anyway, moving on. We have a couple more responses here to get through. Bloat's Ass says, I think the meowing got my attention / concern the most. I don't know what that's a reference to. But I'm pretty sure you guys were meowing at some point.
I think it was B who was meowing.
Was it B? Okay. We'll have to go check the tapes on that one.
Of the people that live in this house, she's the most likely to meow. So
was it? Oh,
J-Mods were meowing.
They were meowing during the summit. Okay. That's funny. Yeah, they were meowing because they were talking. Yeah, it was in reference to Bob the cat. Kieran started meowing. I'm like, wait, did you just meow? So in this whole segment, okay. So that was the most concerning. On a real note, the progress on the quality of life in Cox is promising. I hope they continue to go further than just the current plans. Much love, XXX. Which, if you're not American, or if you are American, that means like kisses. So consensual kisses. Thank you, Bloatsass. Jumungo says, very excited for Leagues 4. Never got a chance to play the other leagues since I started playing OSRS about a year ago. And the game mode sounds like so much fun. Yeah, that's true. Anybody who just started within a year ago, they've not played leagues. because the leagues ended a year ago.
March of 22, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like right before our Springo was when leagues ended. Let's see. High Plains Drifter says, Varlamore. I'm curious how they'll tie the new area into the diaries. It's big enough to get its own, but if it's locked behind AKD, then an easy and medium diary would be locked behind a master quest. Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Which is something that they have not set as a precedent. Every area is accessible. Like they don't have diaries for like Fossil Island. So they may not do that.
But they could.
The
reason why they don't have diaries for a majority of the regions is that the Diary Cape came out in like 2014, I think. OSRS Diary Cape. I want to say it was 2014. It was released in 2016. So Zaya existed, but the Zaya Diary itself didn't come out until... I want to say it didn't come out until Mount Carolam in 2019.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think...
Kind of Kebos.
Yeah, so it was... Yeah, it was a little bit longer once Kebos came out, because that was like Farming Guild, Hydra, all that stuff. So they waited for Zaya because they knew Zaya wasn't done. But I think there could be justification for easy medium diaries in Varlamore, because there will be things that are easy to do, right?
Yeah.
Like if they have a Below Ice Mountain-esque quest where you have to like mine whatever the equivalent of a Baronite shard is, or wield a Baronite hammer, that's not a particularly difficult task.
Sure.
But it is locked behind a quest. I get the concerns that gate it behind a master level quest, but at the same time, I don't know how you don't.
I don't think it is gated behind AKD though, because it has its own quest. It has its own quest leading into it.
It should still be locked behind AKD. Or because we talked about this last week, right? I'm thinking in order to get over there, you'll have to have completed AKD, because remember, it was the Varlamore dagger that killed the king, right?
Yeah.
And it really takes the emotional weight of what happens in A Kingdom Divided and completely butchers it. Because if you can like go to Varlamore, right, and just be a guy over there doing your own adventures, first person ever from Zaya to be able to go, and then at A Kingdom Divided, they're like, look, the Varlamore people are here for the first time ever. And you're like, yeah, that's my girl, the commander. I know her. Oh, a dagger. I know exactly whose dagger this is, because that was in the quest I already did. I think it just kind of takes... It takes away a lot of the weight of that storyline, because now who cares? Now, the reason that storyline is progressing, the reason we know we're not done with the Zaya Council and all the kings and all that, is because of Varlamore.
Right.
Because this mystical new region, these mystical new peoples have come in, right? We don't know anything about them. I think if AKD isn't a requirement, they pull like a D&D Game of Thrones writing on that whole storyline, and just completely butcher it. So frankly, I think it's perfectly fair that it should have a master level quest requirement.
Yeah.
It's not the first quest in the game to have a master level quest requirement. A Kingdom Divided is not that hard. I think we talked about it last week. It's like 59 agility or something is the highest skill requirement.
Yeah.
Like compared to the other quests at that level, right? It doesn't have particularly difficult PVM. Doesn't have particularly difficult PVM so that if you've never killed a monster before, you won't be able to brute force your way through it.
Right.
The only thing that might cause you some difficulty is the hands dropping. And with that, you just walk away. Like, if you're an experienced PVMer, you know well enough you can Wooks walk that in that boss. Like, you can Wooks walk the AKD boss that drops the hands on you, but you don't have to, right?
Yeah.
It's mostly just fetch quests and exposition. And if you have a quest that's mainly storytelling and exposition, and you derail that story by taking away the emotional importance of the ending, why bother? I 100 million% think AKD should be a requirement to get into Farlamore, and I still think you can put some shitter tasks in the easy category.
Soggy Waffles, he brings up a good point. He says, could
but-
see them keeping certain areas locked until you finish AKD. Like you can't get into the palace till you finish it, which there's enough space, I think, in Varlamore that it still could be an impactful ending to AKD while still letting you visit the continent. Like maybe you
But
can't visit the city.
So
Maybe you can't
the
go to the
only
city
issue-
until you go to AKD, until you do AKD. But like you can visit the Hunters Guild and you can visit the land. But that's for the JMOs to
I
figure
think
out.
it's gotta be all or nothing, because frankly, I think if people from Zaya are allowed to freely travel to pretty much anywhere but the main capital, right? That leads to the question of, like, yes, what are they hiding? Oh God, we've never seen these people before. But like, from a gameplay perspective, you're giving the player this vast region that's essentially empty. Because if the introduction of the Varlamore people at the end of the Kingdom Divided is meant to be this big emotional weight, are there just not going to be NPCs?
Mhm.
Are you not going to be allowed to go anywhere and do anything? Are all of the new resources going to be essentially useless for several weeks until they have a follow-up, or several months, years even, until they have a follow-up that's appropriate to unlock, right? I think if you give a continent without a central hub, it's just lifeless space. Because at that point, it's just physical space for skilling. That's all it is, right? The capital of Varlamore that we see is going to be what tells the story. And the reason I say that is because they're not expanding the whole continent on release. Like we talked last week, they have that whole like Venetian area where it looks like it's all built on canals. They have the expansion to the Stranglewood that you kind of can tease with when you do Desert Treasure 2. If they were releasing all of that, maybe. But I think in order to access the city and get the fullness of Varlamore, where it doesn't feel like a dead, lifeless game, because we all know players aren't going to be skilling there, right? Unless there's the best XP per hour or the best rewards per hour, the players aren't going to be there. We have Prif Use, we have Motherlode Mine, we have 3-Tick Granite, we have Volcanic Mine, we've got Temperos, we've got all these other places to train the gathering skills, right? And putting PVM there just seems kind of out of place. Yeah. You know, it goes against the trend of what they've been doing, which is like, we need some way to counteract bots pretty much. So we're going to make every boss that is relatively rewarding locked behind some sort of
quest.
barrier.
Yeah.
I don't ever like, yes, Hunter Guild though. Hunter Guild will be fun. Oh my God. Do you expect me to believe the Hunter Guild are completely isolated from the capital? Like they're a self-sufficient group of like jungle people who only live within the Hunter Guild.
Yeah, like
that's really
people.
Weird storytelling, right? Really, really weird storytelling. I think it has to be locked behind AKD.
Yeah,
I stand by that. I will stand by that. And let me tell you, I will bitch if it is not. You will hear it. You guys will hear all about it if it's not locked behind AKD.
We'll find out soon, I guess. Yeah, Varlamore is slated for within a few months. Like we're in August. We're almost in September. So like, you know, early 2024, probably January, February. We'll see. Plenty of time to dive into like deep. Not dive into. Plenty of time to unpack all that kind of stuff. So back to the community question. Got a few more responses here. Neatsy says, the videos that will come from DMM and leagues. I wish I had time to play them both, but my limited time usually goes to progressing the main. Excited to see the world boss spawns content. That's true. That's one thing that we don't really ever touch on is like PvP stuff, but DMM is happening right now. A lot of people are enjoying it. We kind of, I mean, the most that we did touch on it is like, hey, Deadman Mode is right now, so go to the wilderness and do all your stuff. But a lot of people like Deadman Mode, and I think that they've really like sat down and like Jagex is aware that their finales suck. They're aware of it, I mean, IESA broke it down during the summit and was like, we have to figure this out. So they're really trying to make it a better event for the players, and we'll see how this one goes. I don't have very high expectations, but I have better expectations based on what IESA was saying. Koi Boy says, looking forward to leagues so I can act like I'm good at the game. That's funny. It does, like, you are basically a god in leagues and everything is cracked and it doesn't matter because that's a temporary game mode. So next up, Ben says, I'm way too excited for leagues. The last league ended right before I started playing, so I can't wait to get this league's experience. True. And for all those who played Trailblazer back in the day, we get to experience it again. And finally on Spotify, Real Crazy says, this time I'm looking forward to actually testing out Trailblazer. Because every time there has been a league in the past, I've always been extremely burnt from the game. Also, Varlamore hype. Woo! That is it for the Spotify responses. Moving over to our YouTube replies. We asked you the same question. We said, what was your favorite part of the Summer Summit? And what are you most looking forward to? Exo Elite says, most looking forward to Varlamore. It's going to be exciting to explore a whole new land in the game that we all know so well. Shinkiro says, Varlamore, the new area to explore, quests, the Hunter Guild, the Coliseum. So many things to look forward to with this one. I've also never played a league, so looking forward to giving that a try as well. We actually could have an entire episode dedicated to Varlamore, and we probably will at some point, but I'm really excited about just the massive possibility any sort of new area brings, because like with this game being old school RuneScape, it lends itself to kind of locking itself out of expansion on areas that we know so well. That's why Zaya was so amazing, is because they had a clean slate to do whatever they wanted with it. That's why places like Fossil Island are so awesome. Like they can't touch the classic areas, but they can make new areas that bring life and that change the game in a meaningful way. So places like Varlamore is going to be amazing. Jordy says, my favorite part of the stream itself has to be the mods excitingly talking about the updates they wanted to present. Looking forward to how they do the Hunter Guild and Varlamore in general. Yeah, the Hunter Guild. I cannot wait to explore the Hunter Guild. It's going to be great. Hunter contracts? Next up, we have Bronze. They say, as an Iron Man, I think Path would be a really good quest if the new magic weapon is similar to Trident, so I can use other spellbooks. It would be a good thing, as there is nothing good in between the Ibans and the Trident. I'm looking forward to all of Varlamore too. Spotify says I was over the character limit, so they had to come to YouTube. And from RSN, it's related to Leroy Jenkins from WoW. Why I have Leroy and my Iron Man. Oh, Jackness Jenkins, not Old Man Jenkins. I think that was something related to a community question last week.
What in the hell are you talking about?
I'm reading it as it comes. It says, and for my RSN, it is related to Leroy Jenkins from WoW. I have Leroy and my Iron Man is Jenkins. I think he was explaining
probably
something from.
It's probably.
Is it Achievement of the Week? Okay.
I don't know. Every week when I go through and make a new Achievement of the Week, I like delete it, the last one. So I'll go through and like clear off the achievements so I know like what not to read.
Yeah.
Because it's all just the same document. So
right.
Unfortunately, I don't have it. I could probably pick through levels and achievements and find it.
Sure.
But
yes, thank you for clarifying, Jenkins. Leroy. Next up, we have Soggy Waffles. Curious about leagues because I started playing right towards the end of the Shattered Relics, so I never had a leagues experience. But I'm mostly looking forward to Varlamore. Very interested in seeing the Hunter's Guild and grinding out some agility on the giant worm skeleton. Is that what that is? Is it an agility course?
I think so.
Holy smokes. Holy smokes. And finally, nope. And finally, on YouTube, we have SOSD. They say, I can't wait for the Hunter's Guild. the options for what they can do in that guild is exciting, and it might make Hunter pre-80 less annoying and boring. That is facts and no printer, because Hunter pre-80 is like chins, or you can do monkeys. And then there's like random, you got to catch a bird, you got to do birdhouse runs, you got to do like a little bit of the Kebbit stuff, and like maybe you have a bird that you have on your arm that you send out to kill things. So it's either you just do birdhouse runs or you do a bunch of random stuff in chins. So I'm excited. It's going to change the meta for Hunter, and I think that's very needed. Otis in the recording boot chest says, like a falcon? Yes, 100% like a falcon. That's what it is. It's falcon hunting. Anyway, that is going to do it for the community question, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who answered the question. If you want to answer this week's question, it will be, I want to make it something not related to RuneScape. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. What is your favorite breakfast food? You can answer that on the community question section on Spotify or the pinned comment of this YouTube video. I'm genuinely curious because I like I'm a cereal man myself, and I'm looking for options because generally I either just eat cereal or I go down the street and I get a breakfast burrito. So I'm looking for options. Now I'll add the caveat: I'm a terrible cook, so I want to know something that is your favorite breakfast food that you don't really have to cook, because that's why I eat cereal. Anyway, that's going to do it for the community questions.
The answer is cereal. What?
The answer is cereal. Okay, never
What's your
mind.
favorite breakfast food? You don't have to cook. It's cereal and granola bars. Make it so you have to cook the food too. Okay.
Yeah, you have to cook it. Fine.
Don't let level 4 cooking IRL over here stop you from showing us your favorite breakfast food.
It's going to be a good one next week. I'm excited. It's going to make me hungry. So make sure you come to the pod having already had your breakfast. That's going to do it for community question section, guys. Thank you so much. I believe it now is time for the one and only Oxymillion. Take it away, sir.
Why? Anyways, we are. It's achievement of the week time, I think, is what Michael meant.
I did say that.
And achieved, you guys have. There's not a ton, but achieved, you guys have, right? It's quantity or quality over quantity this week. So kicking things off in the miscellaneous category, we have 3 music capes. Mass Spec Gamer, Humble Owl, and Butter 6000 all achieved their snazzy black and white music capes. Great for Master Clues. Hope you love it. I think we're going to go with combat next, only because we have 2 unique things in skilling and technically 1 unique thing in combat, but we have a lot of them. So, sad to report, there are no fire capes, but trust me, we'll make up for that. Even though we don't have any fire capes this week, Alpha Hotel Quebec and Beefy both killed their first Zulrah this week. They came over the hump. They've done it, right? Air Mid has completed their medium combat achievements. Green Ben has completed their hard combat achievements, and AFK for a bit has completed their elite combat achievements. A large K9 and Mohadib. Mohadib? I think, yeah, Mohadib. Yeah. Both a large K9 and Mohadib achieved their Missouri kits this week, and Scotty, our friend, got his Ward kit this week. So quite a few kits here in the chat. I said we'd make up for the lack of fire capes, and we did. By getting 3 capes you get in a fiery area, if that makes any sense. Good friends of the podcast and very, I almost said prolific. That's not the right word. Very active members of the community. We see them all the time in VC and the CC. Russ of Fury, Thorgoth, and Yaharis, and Arionyx. All 4 of them achieved their Infernal capes this week. 4 brand new Infernal capes. Arionyx didn't post his levels on achievements. I just know he got it. He DM'd me about it. So 4 Infernal capes in a week. That's insane. That's crazy.
That's
cool.
a lot. That's a lot.
You guys all did that in a week. Congratulations to you guys. You're free. You no longer have to endure the hardship of the Inferno. Even though some of you guys are only in there for like a week. Took you like 10 attempts. Must have been nice. Must have been real nice. But it doesn't matter because you have the cape and no one can take that away from you. Very proud of you guys. Finally, wrapping things up with skilling this week. So, kicking off the 99s, Greenburn, I think with a double-double this week, achieved 99 prayer. For Vitney, cruising to max as ever, got 99 thieving. Mohadib with another double-double this week, achieved 99 slayer, herb lore, and prayer. Dr. Gerbert achieved 99 crafting. Fumble Swing achieved 99 attack. Avengor achieved 99 range and 99 hit points, 2 of their first ever 99s. Elvish Rage achieved 99 prayer. Toaster Bath achieved 99 thieving. Butter 6000 achieved 99 range. And Robert Shifley achieved 99 strength. Those last two 99s happened while we were on the show.
Wow.
Funny enough. As far as total levels are concerned, we have 2 notable total levels. Jordy achieved 2100 total level. And Spank Moody, what a name that is, achieved 2277 total level and maxed their account at the Remington Mine.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations to you. You can finally play the game. It's all yours.
No. You can
Bust
finally
wide open.
Finally play your Iron Man.
Take it from the cooler host.
The Max player.
Now you can
Take it from the
finally
Max
play the game. Take it from the more handsome host. Now you can finally play the game on the account that you just maxed. We do have one more skilling achievement, just because I think it's neat and unique. Left GP for XP. Some of you guys may have seen him. He recently kind of rotated around Reddit for his username. He's gotten the XP now. Maybe he'll get a GF back. Who knows? Left GP for XP has achieved 200 million construction experience, solidifying himself as I want to say in the high 4,000s. Let me scroll up here and
High
double
4,000s.
check.
He's like rank 419 or something.
Oh, rank 419. I thought it was 4,000.
400.
Yeah, look at that. I saw another letter after that. Yep.
He is close to 2 billion XP.
That's his total score overall.
Yeah, he was
that's
176 rank 176 construction.
Okay. Now I got to look this up. Left GP for XP, left GF for XP, rank 128, secured on the high scores forever at rank 128.
128. Okay.
128
construction.
With 200 million construction XP. I can't read sometimes, and sometimes I throw extra letters in. So he's not top 4,000. He's currently top 500 players in the game with the amount of XP, rank 128 overall forever in construction.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. GF is optional. XP is forever, my friend. Congratulations to you and to everyone who achieved something awesome this week here on Achievement of the Week. If you did something awesome and you want to show us, brag about it, tell your friends, all that, head on over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in our levels and achievements chat. Even if it's not something we shout out, we still want to see it. People GZ literally everything in that chat because we just like achievements around here. When people feel good when they do stuff, people like that. And we are very lucky in that our community does genuinely care when people do succeed, whatever that success looks like. As I say every week, whether it's base 60s or whether it's Blorva, doesn't matter. People like when you do stuff that's cool. So come over and hang out, post about the cool stuff that you do in this never-ending MMORPG that we all play. So we are about 2.5 hours into this episode, and I said I'd hard cut us off at 2 hours, but we were knee deep in the community question because this was a long community question. So Michael, my friend, do you have a fun question for us?
We do. This one,
thank God.
This one comes to us via a semi-outdated form of communication. We got emailed a fun question, which if you're emailing us about a fun question, it's not outdated. It's in date. So this one comes from Double Golden, and they asked.
I thought this guy was going to say they sent a messenger. It took him 3 days to get there.
No.
or some
email.
shit like that.
I'm pretty
Pigeon
sure.
took a month to cross the Atlantic Ocean.
So-
to find us.
I'm the only one who manages our email. So if you've emailed us and it has been like we haven't replied, or we haven't read your fun question, or there's just something, we haven't gotten back to you via email, that's on me, and I apologize. I generally try and screenshot emails and post them somewhere, but nonetheless, I did screenshot this one and I posted it in our fun question section, so I would not forget. And that question, again, comes from Double Golden, and they ask, if Jagex were to release a rare pet as a reward for doing the holiday event, which pet would you want from which holiday and at what drop rate? The pets for each holiday will always be the same every year, but you only get a shot at them once a year. For example, every Easter, upon completing the event, you have a chance to earn the Easter Brumby at a rate of 1 in 200. So, I think the question is, we get to make up a pet for every event, and then which one would be your most favorite? And I guess like how they would come into the game too, because like no shot it would be like a 1 in 200 shot just for completing. There would have to be some repeatable.
It's got to be like 1 in 3
for just completing the event, or like so. For instance, after you do the Christmas event last year, so the whole event was like this wasn't it like a snowball fight style event? Or
There was a snowball fight mini game.
okay,
yeah.
so maybe at the end you have to redo the snowball event and like win it. It's like a repeatable thing. And if you win the snowball event, you have a chance to get it. So like you complete the event, and then there's something about the event that is repeatable and completable. Then that gives you the chance. Because I don't know, like a 1 in 200, and you only get one shot at it. That would be, I mean, that's like what, 200 years to go on drop rate. It's insane. But I like this concept because pets are amazing, and I think like just like the music tracks, it adds a little bit of prestige when you do have the items or the music tracks that go along with the events. But the crazy part is like the events always change. So they would have to come up with new and exciting ways every year to get the pets again, which is not hard because there are.
I
have
think it
Easter
should just be on completion, but
you have Easter, you have Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. Am I missing any other
Pride
event?
birthday,
The birthday
Valentine's Day. Do they do Valentine's Day stuff?
They have in the past, but it's not every Valentine's.
The big three are Easter, Christmas, and Halloween. I think some sort of Pride pet would be cool, and frankly, the only pet I want from a Pride event is a frog.
Oh,
but you can transmog it to any of the colors of the rainbow flag.
that would be cool.
Because I don't like them putting chemicals in the water to turn the friggin' frogs
frog's
gay. I really think that one would be funny as hell. If we got a little gay frog for the Pride event, that'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's good. That would feel so crappy though. Like a 1 in 3, you had a 33% chance this year to get the pet. Like,
yeah, like that's the problem with this question.
I would want to make it almost a guarantee.
This mechanic sucks. I think it should be a guaranteed drop rate. Or have a repeatable activity that doesn't feel like ass and also has a super low drop rate, like a 1 in 5.
Yeah. Just something to where you feel like you got it. Like for instance, when you do your 1,000 Chompy kills and you complete the diary, like going back to get the Chompy pet is not that big of a task. You get it fairly quickly, but it's almost a guarantee, but not being a guarantee. Like the drop rate is super low. And so you could make it to where it's like a 1 in 10, but you still have to do the event and you have to do a repeatable thing, but it's pretty much a guarantee if you spend like 5 minutes doing it. You know what I mean? So what they could do is they could add a pet. So it could be like, for instance, if they did a pet for this year's Christmas, it could be like a snowman. And then every year you get like a new hat or a new something that it holds. Like it has a broomstick for the 2023, or it has a like a guitar for the 2024. So something to signify the year that you got it, but it's always the same base pet. That would be cool. I think that like just like the cosmetics, having something that signifies the year that you got it would be really neat. And so say you're like 5 years into having this holiday pet, then that's like 5 different transmogs that you can get. Or if they did a snowman this year, but then next year they wanted it to be like an animated sled, then your snowman could transmog into a sled or something related to Christmas. Could be like a bouncing present or something. Or presents on a sled, something like that. But yeah, no, that's fun. What would be for Halloween? It has to be something like
I
a
think
skeleton,
for Halloween,
something spooky.
I have 3 different ideas, all of which can be applicable to various pets already in the game. Because I don't think you should get a pet for Halloween. I think you should get a pet transmog item.
Ooh.
Kind of like a Blood Torva kit. Hear me out, right? 1 zombie kit, 1 skeletal kit, 1 ethereal kit, right? Picture it. You can use the undead kit on Callisto or General Gardor. Pets that already don't have transmogs, right? That's one of the key things. Pets that don't have transmogs. And then Callisto, Gardor, Sarachnis look, or Sarachnis has a transmog, but like Callisto, Gardor look really undead.
Ooh.
Like body parts falling off. Like they've updated pets now, so like maybe Callisto only walks with like 1 leg.
Ooh.
Like this. Somebody has the Vorkath pet in front of me, and I'm trying to think like what could look good. Who knows? You know. So I think an undead variant would be cool. A skeletal variant that you can apply to like Kriara or maybe King Black Dragon.
Ooh, neat.
Right? Have like skeletal variants of these little pets that follow you around, and then ghostly variants, right? Could you imagine? I know it already has a transmog, but could you imagine like a ghostly version of Hydra that only maybe has like 1 head that just sort of like instead of walking, it just sort of like floats along the ground?
Yeah.
Someone mentioned in the recording booth chat like Jack Skellington's ghost dog. I'm kind of picturing that kind of like ethereal movement. Maybe something for Obor and Bryophyta, like undead versions of those in some regard would be super cool. But I think the ability to transmog existing pets that don't have transmogs would be really neat. And then one that might just be funny is making Vorkath perfectly healthy. Like one that just makes Vorkath a normal dragon. But yeah, I like
the opposite of
Cerberus would be another good one for the ghost.
Yeah.
Because the ghost dog from Night Before Christmas is really cool. So I think that could be neat. Or maybe just, I don't know. A headless Hydra, SOSD said, that could be cool. But zombification, skeletification, and then skeletalization, is that the word? And then ghostification of various existing pets would be super cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god, ghostly transmog is just the ghostly disguise from the Port Phasmatis Ghosts Ahoy quest
over your pet.
That would be
that'd be cute as hell.
Funnier than shit.
I would love to see
if you got like a Varrock dog and just put the robe over it and it followed you around. Like that would be funnier than shit. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it would be cool.
But I still think it has to be guaranteed. I still think it has to be guaranteed.
Give it to him. Yeah. An actual pet for Halloween. I'm thinking like an actual pet. But then you also have the chance to use a like you could use that item on the Halloween pet. But it is also like an Easter egg kind of thing where each and every pet has kind of a fun thing that you can interact it with. Because like a little Halloween mask or even like one of the, how it's like a bed sheet, but it's like the ghostly bed sheet over the Bloodhound pet, and just his little eyes are poking out and his little tongue is poking out. That would be cute as hell. Even like the Cerberus pet, little puppy, any dog variant pet. Just having the sheet with the little eyes poking out. Oh my gosh. So cute. So cute. The problem with these fun questions is it proposes things that I want in the game that we probably won't get. So.
I mean, we've had holiday pets before. We got Eek.
But that's so small. we're talking like a pet that is substantial, you know? And I don't know. It's probably not going to happen, but I really want it to happen. Anyway, thank you.
It can be implemented in fun ways. I don't know what you would do for an Easter pet. Just give me an egg that like rolls. That just like follows behind and rolls. I think that about covers it.
I mean, a little hopping bunny would be cool. I mean, the character that always pops up during Easter would be fun to have as a pet. Less a pet, but more of like a companion that you can summon. Because it's kind of weird. Because he's like a full blown like entity with its own consciousness. I'm not saying the other ones aren't, but I see him less as a pet and more of as a companion, like a follower. But yeah, guys, if you want to send us a fun question, there's many ways to do it. You can send us a postcard. We have a postcard wall. Oxie and I. Oxie's a little hard to see, but he does have it there. It's back there somewhere. And if the postcard is meant to go to Oxie, please just send it to our PO box, and I'll forward it to him. We're not going to give you his address. That's never going to happen. But you do have our we do have our PO box down in the description. PO box 2376, Keller, Texas 76244 is the PO box. And I will be a good podcast host, and I'm going to try and check that tomorrow because it has been at least 2 or 3 weeks since I've checked it. So there's likely is a
I've
postcard.
not been able to get down there and check it.
Yeah, sorry. It's okay. Hey, maybe next time. There may be a postcard in there. Who knows? We may read it next week. So you can send us a postcard. You can send us an email like Double Golden did.
Did you send us a postcard?
Did I send us a postcard?
From Connecticut?
No, I did not.
To our P.O. box?
No, I did not. I do have a postcard from Connecticut that may be going to you, but you don't check your mail, so you'll never find it.
Noted. Noted. Okay.
You can send us an email. You can send us a DM, and hopefully we'll see it. I'll say this. If you send an email or a DM, it's less likely, not less likely. There's a slight chance that it doesn't get seen or that it gets buried in messages. The best way to actually send is via Discord. So if you want to pop it in the Xpwaste chat, or if you're a patron, you can use the fun question section. But a postcard is 100% guaranteed. 100%. There's like 100% chance that it will be read if it's sent via postcard. Not saying you have to, but I'm just saying this guy on the wall, he's looking a little bare. So send us a postcard. We'd love to see it. That's going to do it for the fun question section. Thank you so much, Double Golden. If you guys want to answer that question, obviously hit us up on Discord, Xpwaste chat. We'd love to hear. What pet would you like to see for a holiday event? Oxie, I think it's time we send these folks to bed, or we send them off to work because a lot of people.
I'm gonna send myself to bed.
You're gonna go to sleep. You're not gonna play.
Y'all can do whatever you
with
want,
me?
but
Come on.
I'm not playing Baldur's Gate with you. I really don't want to play the game with anyone until I finish the campaign.
Oh,
right. Which I understand is kind of counterintuitive to the point of a D&D campaign,
100%.
but like, I would like to be able to experience the story and know what to and not to do for next time. Right?
Yeah.
Because like,
is the campaign always the same?
I don't know. I've not been able. I'm a side quest whore. I don't know. But I'm gonna go to bed, and by bed I mean take a shower and play Baldur's Gate until God, it's already 11 o'clock. Maybe not.
10:45.
I'm sick of these long episodes when I'm on long editing streaks, folks. Good night. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your day. We will see you guys next week. Check every link in the description down below.
Just check 'em.
You already know what you are and what they
Just
are.
check 'em.
You already know what they are. And if you don't, look in the description and figure them out. Love you all very dearly, but I'm very tired. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.